3D Coca-Cola Polar Bear Pendant Acrylic Nail Art Tutorial by Hotpinkzebrapolish. Hi everyone! In today's video I'm going to be doing a Coca-Cola Polar Bear pendant on a pendant base that looks like a little bottle cap, which is really cute, and I was so excited when I found those, and this is the first thing I thought of doing with them, and I'm sure I'll come up with other ideas that do them justice in the future. So for this one, like I said, it's Coca-Cola Polar Bears, pretty self-explanatory, and it seems like the Coca-Cola Polar Bears are really making a comeback this year. They weren't around for a while, but now you see them kind of all over the place, as evidenced by my shirt. And these just crack me up, and I think they're adorable. All of anything animal related, as you can see my animals behind me, I love them. Animals warm my heart. So I had a blast making this, and you could also do this on a nail. It is nail products, it is nail art. So if you want to do this on a nail instead of on a pendant, have at it. It would probably be amazing, and if you do, please share recreations with me because, like I said, I love this. So don't forget to click subscribe to see my future videos as well. So as I mentioned, I have this adorable bottle cap pendant, so I'll begin by filling in the center of that with just a medium to a dark teal color, teal blue acrylic. And so this pendant base, you could also do this on an actual bottle cap, keeping in mind that that's going to potentially have some sharp edges, and the middle of it isn't going to indent like this one does. So you just have to adjust it a little bit and make it work, and maybe add a little bit of a protectant layer around the outside to keep it from being sharp and possibly cutting you. So after I have that in, I'm going to take some gel, and normally I would use clear builder gel, and I don't have any, so I'm using some of Madam Glam's gel top coat because it is really, really thick. And this is just to fill in the rest of that area and give it a nice domed appearance. If you watch many of my pendant videos, you know that I always say that I use Madam Glam's top coat instead because I never have clear builder gel. I actually am getting some. I have it ordered, so soon hopefully I will have the proper replacement. So then after I have that cured, I'm going to use some acrylic, some white acrylic, and I'm going to be sculpting out my adorable little polar bear. So I began with white for his head, and it's sort of like a upside down triangle that's got all of its sides rounded off, or all of its points rounded off, I suppose. And so then I'll add his body, and polar bears don't have like a defined neck. They obviously have a neck, but it's not thinner, it doesn't indent, if that makes sense. So you gotta just sort of blend it down into their body. And momentarily you will see I'm doing this now. I decided I wanted him in general larger than what I originally was making him, so I'm just gonna go through and add more acrylic all around. So first I enlarged his head to a better size, that's a little bit better, and then I'm going to add some more acrylic to his body. And right now I'm not worried about 3D stuff. I'm not adding extra dimensions here and there or wherever it's going to need it later. This is just the first layer, so I have the outline so I know where to start building up from later on. This is kind of like a sketch, you can think of it that way, and so you don't need to worry about too many of the details right now at this point. And so then I'm going to start figuring out where I want his arm to go. So the one arm is going to be up, and it's going to be kind of bent up, so it looks like he's going to take a big drink of the Coca-Cola. And this is so funny. I love soda art. I love drawing cans of soda. I love all of this, and I don't drink soda. I haven't drank soda for years, so it's so weird that I enjoy doing this because it's not something that I actually consume, but it just, I don't know, I love it. It's classic, and I enjoy doing this. So I'm going to add more acrylic to his face, and I'm going to start figuring out where the 3D elements are. So I'm going to use the tip of my brush to sort of remove acrylic or push the acrylic away from where his eye sockets are, and I'm going to start building up his snout. So between his eyes, add some more white acrylic. I know since I'm using white acrylic on white, it's so hard to see what I'm doing. So I hope you can tell. And for the very top, or like his mouth area, he has a split upper lip, and then you're going to want to add his lower jaw. So now I'm just adding some more acrylic there, and I do tip the nail to the side, or not the nail, but the pendant to the side, so you can see how far out this does go. It is actually dimensional, it sticks out quite a ways, and I think I show it. I guess we'll find out in a second. And I'm going to blend it, make sure that there's no weird defining lines. It's all kind of smooth and soft looking. Then I'll add some more to his eyebrow area. Some more acrylic just to give him like a kind of eyebrows. And so then ears. And when you do the ears, I used a little bit less acrylic than you might normally because I pushed my brush into the center of the ears so that some of that blue background shows through. That's going to add some little bits of, I don't know, shadowing in there. See how the blue shows through? Blue shows through, that rhymes. I'm feeling like I'm Dr. Seuss today. And so then I'm going to start working on the bottle. So with light blue, I'm going to create what would be where the soda isn't in the bottle. So that very just top of it, and that's just the top of the bottle. And then with bronze acrylic, I'm going to be adding the rest of it. So that's where all the soda is filled in. And the reason I'm using bronze instead of brown is because that little bit of shimmer is really going to sell the fact that it's a carbonated beverage. Otherwise, you could use brown as a base and then add some brown glitter on top of it, just so it has almost a movement in your eye and it doesn't look so flat. Or you can use like a shimmery pigment in there or something, but just give it a little bit of sparkle so it really looks carbonated. And then add a layer of clear acrylic over the top of the bottle. This is another hugely important step of this. With the clear acrylic going over the blue and then over the bronze, it's really going to sell it as a clear bottle that is filled with something. And the light blue, the reason you're doing light blue in the background instead of just clear, because it is a clear bottle, is because that light blue is going to make it look like it's clear, but some of the blue background is showing through and it's kind of reflecting with the polar bear. So if it's a light color but still blue, it's going to give you the right appearance. And then I'm going to be adding all of his little fingers, which they're not really fingers, it's his paw that's holding it, but they look kind of finger-like at this point. So thumb basically on one side of the bottle, the side that is towards his head, and then 4 little paw finger sections on the other side. Are they called fingers? Toes? I don't know. It's his hand. I'm going to go with fingers. And then with black acrylic, I'm going to be adding his nose. Just a nice little rounded shape at the end of his snout. And then I'm going to be adding a scarf. I did want this to be holiday themed or fall, or not fall, winter themed. It's not specifically any holiday, but winter. And so I decided I would give him a scarf. You could also give him a hat, or if you wanted this to be universal any time of the year, you would just skip this part and leave him naked. Naked polar bears. It's not too controversial. So for the scarf, just around his neck, add a nice, it's a kind of a dark red around it. I used dark red for this because I wanted it to be nice and contrasting against the white fur. So then after you have the part that goes around, add the little tails of the scarf coming down. Just go up and over like that. And as I did this, I did really small beads, trying not to have to tuck them in too much with my brush because it is going to stain the white acrylic anywhere it touches. So make sure that you try to keep it contained, and then add a little bit of fringe on the end of that scarf just with more white, and then sort of break it up with the edge of your brush to give it the little hair-like texture. Or you can also use a silicone tool if you have those on hand. That's also going to work really well to make it that little fringy, furry texture on the end. So then with red, I'm going to be highlighting my scarf. This is red paint now. I'm switching to paint for the rest of it. And then with white, I'm going to start highlighting my polar bear. So at this point, my white is a little diluted. And if you want it to be really bright white, use full strength white. Otherwise, on top of the white acrylic, my white acrylic isn't bright white. It's sort of a, I don't know, gray white. And so it doesn't have that really bright intensity that acrylic paint does for me. So I really like that because then I can use acrylic paint to highlight my white acrylic. And I highlighted pretty much everything going on here. And then I also used red acrylic paint to paint the label on the bottle. Make sure that that has the label, so it is definitely Coca-Cola. And then using black, I'm going to be adding the smile on my polar bear, making sure that this is really important so he looks like he's happy. He's having a good time. He's got snow to play in. There's no global warming. It's a better time in life. And then adding his eyes. Just like that. Once again with black. If you do find that you mess something up, like one of his eyes is in the wrong place, you can fix that up with white paint. Add a little white reflection in each eye. And then on the Coca-Cola bottle, highlight the bottle first with white and highlight it in sort of little lines. That's going to give it that faceted shape that the bottles have. And then I'm going to outline the label with black. And then as much as I can, I'm going to try to write out Coca-Cola on the label. That is not easy, there's not much space, but I think I did COCA, so I thought that was enough. And then I'm adding his little toenails on his fingers. Toenails on fingers, I guess I just don't know which way to go with this. His fingernails, his claws. And then I'm going to be applying some gel sealer in the background over that blue and over the Coca-Cola bottle. You want the bottle to be nice and shiny, and then matte top coat over my polar bear. And that is it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you like this as much as I do, and like I said, it is available in my online store, so definitely check that out, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!